Y'all know checks and balances, 27 days away. I want to have this conversation. Last week was spring break, and there were some young kids hanging around my property, and I says, hey, you guys want to work for me? Not today, but the next day. I said, yeah, well, here's my number. Have your dads call me. I show up the next day. Their dads never called me. I show up the next day. They're still there. And I had to take care of all this debris and stuff on the property. And I asked him, I asked one, where's your father? He said in prison. I said the other, he said he didn't know. It was two young black men. And it kind of hurt my heart, and it reminded me of me, except my dad wasn't in jail. My dad just said, fuck Fred, you know what I mean? And, but that's our Achilles heel, man. Manhood in our community. And then I was explaining to them that, you know what manhood is? Because they like, yeah, my dad is in, I'm thinking, my dad's in jail. He's tough. He's big. He's bad. He's bold. No, manhood is giving these kids employment opportunities, man. Letting them know that they don't have to go to the corner store and steal the potato chips. Because when I was on spring break, and you in the hood, you know, ABC Market on Manchester and Hoover, robbed that motherfucker. Superbuy on Florence and Vermont, robbed that motherfucker. Had dinner walking down the aisles, man. And we got to throw away that fucking narrative, man. Like, a man is a man. He's big, bad, he's bold, he's tough because he goes to jail. No, a man is big, bad, bold, and tough when he raised his son and he raised his daughter by any means necessary. Cut that narrative out, man. And you know what inspired me to tell this story was people were having conversations about, I've never seen Snowfall. I've seen maybe 2 episodes, but it was too painful for me to watch because I grew up in that era and crack and drugs was rampant in my family, so I chose not to watch it. But I see the conversations. You can't help but see, since I have a YouTube channel, you can't help but see the conversations. Was that guy smart? Right? Was he a genius? No. The nigga killed black people, man. Since when is a man a genius for killing a black man kills black people, he's a genius. Whether it's crack, whether it's with a gun, whether he employs them through crack cocaine, he's a genius. But Hitler is a tyrant? No, a genius is a man that uses his talents to propel people. Satan is a genius. Saul was a genius. Judas was a genius. Peter was a genius. Job was a genius. They wasn't a genius until they became pragmatic about personal accountability, y'all. And that's what we got to be, man. To my fathers out there, soon to be fathers. Your masculinity is not determined what you do with your fists, man. Your masculinity is protecting your children and your family and your last name with your hands, your intellect, your spiritual currency and all that, man. Because we got to throw away the narrative that just this one singular thing makes men masculine. Oh, I went to jail. I'm big, I'm bad, I'm buff. How about Malcolm X, the man who went to jail, came out of jail, had 6 beautiful daughters, and raised them to the best of his ability, protected his community, and served his community, served his last name well. That's what masculinity is, man. Masculinity ain't your claim to fame. I can beat you up. Anyways, man, enough is said, man. I had a great time with those kids last week, man. And it's sad that I didn't get a chance to meet their father. That's what really, really hurt me, man. And I think that's the ticket, man. Those who can will. And let's start redefining masculinity in our neighborhoods, man. A man who sells drugs in our community is not a genius. He's Satan. Period. Barbershop Conversations. Checks and Balances, May 19th. Checks and Balances, May 19th, man. 27 days away, the film of the year, man. Shout out to all, and I want to say this. Shout out to all the men that did the bad things in their 20s like me. I just didn't get caught. Or and right their wrongs and came home and protected their family. Shout out to those men. But if you 35 and you still throwing up gang signs and you still, nigga, fuck you. You know what I mean? You a piece of shit, man. You throwing up gang signs, selling drugs, looking for another black man to rob. You know what I mean? What Nip say, that's goofy time, man. I'm gone, man. Checks and Balances, May 19th, man. And if you really want to know what I really feel about this, Checks and Balances, May 19th, man. I'm not budging on this topic, man. I'm gone.